Hey guys, what's up? It's me again, and I'm back to do my very first vlog for this channel. Now, like I said in my previous video, these vlogs are going to be more about, what's going on in the Power Ranger community, what's going on in, the real world, and whatnot. I think I'm going to leave the questions for a separate video, like a separate weekly Q&A. So, yeah, just look forward to the questions being in separate videos and answers in separate videos, so... Anyway, let's just get right to the first vlog. And today I'm going to be talking about what was revealed at Power Morphicon during the past week. Now, Saban Brands has been talking a lot about what's going on for this year and for future years as far as, the toys go, and I guess as far as the television series is going. But when someone asked about Ressha Sentai ToQger, the Sentai that's currently airing in Japan, they had some things that they wanted to say. And I'm going to take these messages, which were taken right from Oren's website. The article's called Saban Brands Reveals Their Thoughts About Ressha Sentai ToQger. And here's what the article says. With Tokyo Sentai Go Buster skipped by Saban Brands in favor of Juden Sentai ToQger, fans wondered if Ressha Sentai ToQger will not be adapted into a Power Ranger series. It was revealed in this year's Power Morphicon that the reason behind why Saban skipped Go Busters is because dinosaurs are popular compared to spies, and that ToQger is more successful compared to Go Busters. As for Saban's current thoughts about ToQger, here's what they say about the series. And now these are just a bunch of tweets that O.92 posted, which I'm assuming are the direct thoughts by Saban Brands. He writes, and these are his words, not mine. Saban's current thoughts on ToQger. Trains are not major part of kids' lives in USA, like Japan. Trains also not major public trans in US. Does not mean ToQger will be skipped. Depends what Toei does next. But Saban isn't in love with ToQger. This is per Bandai. Saban feels Tokyo suits incredibly preschoolish. Zord's too stiff. But we'll see. Depends on Tokyo's final sales in Japan and Toei's next theme. Now, as you can tell, a lot of fans were probably raging about how bad that sounded, right? And Morphin K responded to this by saying, so basically, as we've theorized, toy sales are the deciding factor on if Saban can skip a Sentai or not, to which O.92 said, basically, Saban all about the $sign. So that's as far as the article goes, and just based on what I have to go off of here, I have to say that Saban Brands is really not looking at ToQger from a very unbiased vantage point. Now, I will agree that on some level, the ToQger suits are rather, kiddie-ish. I mean, I first saw the promo for ToQger back in January of this year, and I will say that the suits did look like a little kid designed them, and I will admit that the Zords do look kind of boring, because if you do look at the the actual suits on the TV show, and if you do collect the mecha, as I've seen a lot of people on YouTube do, they do look like a bunch of rectangles that you just stick together and they can make Megazords. But I'm not saying that it's really all that bad. I think it's a really interesting concept. I mean, this is the first time that we've had trains ever brought into a Power Ranger series. It's never been done before. But if you do want to go by Lightspeed and Mystic Force, we've had train Megazords before, so this isn't anything new to us. But this is the first time that the whole series is based around trains, and we're not just having one random Megazord be the train Megazord. This is the first time that we're actually getting a nice variety of Zords. We're not getting a bunch of I guess generic Zords. We're getting Zords that actually can do stuff. I mean, you got a police car themed train, you got a fire truck, you have a drill, you have a crane. I don't know why anyone wouldn't want to get behind that. I don't even know why Saban wouldn't want to get behind that. I think that's a pretty sweet idea. But unfortunately, Saban is only thinking about the money, the moolah. The company only wants to see if this series is marketable. Just look at Go Busters. Go Busters only had a very small amount to sell. All they had were like 5 Rangers to sell. They had 2 Megazords, 2 Morphers. I forget what else they were selling, but really, the whole collective list of things to sell from Go Busters was really small. So really, they didn't make a lot of money from Go Busters because there wasn't much to sell. Well, see, that makes sense. And considering that this took place after ToQger, the big 35th anniversary, it's hard to really top what, ToQger did. They had a nice marketable gimmick. They had Ranger keys, and that raked in a lot of money. And just look at the Zords. The Zords were interesting. Okay, yeah, there only were 2 Megazords, and there were only a few auxiliaries, but still, that was a lot to market. In Go Busters, you only had collectively 5 individual Zords, and that was really it. You had 2 Morphers, and you had only a couple sidearms, but there wasn't much to sell from Go Busters because really ToQger just set the bar so high that Go Busters was gonna look really, really inferior, and it would look like it didn't really mean much. Which honestly I can say is sort of true since I've seen Go Busters. It's not that interesting, and it just doesn't feel like a Sentai series. It just feels like a spy series, and I don't know. I guess I can see why, Saban wanted to skip Go Busters, but still I feel they should have given Go Busters a chance. But anyway, back to ToQger. Now, if you look at what ToQger is currently giving us, there is a lot to market here. You got 2 Morphers. Yeah, I know you got one that's based on a smartphone, but still, it's something to give the kids to play with, right? I mean, come on. This isn't the first time that, a kid's been introduced to a smartphone. I've seen little kids walking around with smartphones all the time. They don't seem that unimpressed by them. If you give a kid a Power Ranger-based smartphone, they'll be like, oh wow, I like my smartphone, and I like Power Rangers, so I think this is going to be a great toy. See? Keep up with the times. It'll make sense. And not to mention, you have a lot of trains to market this year. The Ressha. There's a lot of Ressha right now. There's almost 15 Ressha, and there's probably going to be a total of 20 by the end of the series. That's good. So, really, Saban Brands can't say that, there won't be much to, sell in 2017 as far as the ToQger line goes, because you have enough Zords to make a whole infinite amount of possible combinations. You can combine Diesel-O with whatever you want. You can combine Tokyo with what you want. You can combine Build-Dio with what you want. See, that's the real beauty part of ToQger. You can make whatever possible combinations you want, and it'll work. But unfortunately, they're only worried about how much money all these toys are going to make collectively throughout the rest of 2014 and for January of 2015. People have also been saying, at least according to some of the comment boards, is that trains just aren't really as popular with today's kids as opposed to when we were kids. I mean, back in the day, I knew a lot of kids around my age who really loved trains. They would just enjoy collecting toy trains. They would love going to sit by the train tracks and watch trains. And I was a huge train fan back in my day. And hey, one of the biggest trains in my day was Thomas the Tank Engine. And it was popular back then, and I think, as far as I recall, it's still popular today with kids. Because, there's the stuff with Day Out with Thomas and stuff. And there's my cousin, and he has kids, and he always takes them out to the Day Out with Thomas event whenever it's in our state. So clearly, Thomas and Friends is not unpopular, and at least trains are not as unpopular now as when we were kids. Evidently, trains are still popular. I guess it's only a matter of relevance. It only depends on just how much you care about those trains. But I honestly don't care. Because, hey, trains are really great to me. I don't really have a problem with trains. I honestly don't even have a problem with the whole train theme for ToQger. I think it's perfectly fine as far as I'm concerned. Plus, people in the comment boards are saying that, oh, well, trains just weren't really as popular now as when we were kids. Well, I have to disagree. I go to a train show every single year, which is in a neighboring city right near me, and it is usually packed with little kids who are always lining up to see the big train displays of, like HO and O gauge, and there's also a mini garden railway set up in the big convention hall. So, obviously, kids still care about trains. Well, yes, maybe the whole majority doesn't really care about trains, but still, trains are really big for, a lot of people. At least in my area, trains are still popular. And hey, I will definitely buy all of the ToQger toys if they come to America, because trains have been a part of my life, and I'm sure trains have been a part of your lives too. So you can't say that trains were never seen as a big deal, because relatively speaking, we've all been around trains, and I think that ToQger would be a perfect adaptation for America. Or maybe if they don't want to do a full 40-episode season of ToQger, fine, just make it 20 episodes. Make it 20 episodes, and then just cut it off from there. You can start a brand new series. You might as well make 20-episode seasons now. I mean, there's no point in milking one Sentai team for 2 years just because Nickelodeon only wants 20-episode seasons. I don't know, it's one big, screwy Nickelodeon Saban Brands mess, so I'm not entirely sure what they want to do. So, my final thoughts on this whole Saban Brands ToQger thing. I think Saban Brands is not looking at the bigger picture. They're not thinking about a way of trying to actually market the toys on their own terms and saying, I guess we can forget how, Toei marketed these Zords. We can market the Zords our own way. We can sell this show on our own specific means of doing it. We don't need to base all of our decisions based on what Toei can sell, because really, just because it's not so popular here in America, it doesn't mean you can't try to make it popular. I mean, come on. People thought that, Goseiger was really, really boring and really just a badly written series, but hey, somehow kids here in America just ate up Power Rangers Megaforce so much that apparently it just didn't matter how bad Goseiger was. I mean, yeah, I get that Megaforce was bad, but hey, kids still ate it up. Kids ate up every ounce of Megaforce that they could. Saban made a lot of money off of it. So, you can't say that you can't make something bad into something successful, no matter which continent you're living on. So as far as I'm concerned right now for this whole ToQger thing, Saban is, really looking at this whole situation from a very unfair vantage point. They're not even really trying to be reasonable about how they can go about, selling the series. But hey, if they end up skipping the series, that's on them, because there's always going to be someone out there who's going to be buying the Sentai toys right now. So it's not like they're not ever going to get the Sentai toys ever. It's just one big mess. Anyway, folks, that's it for this video. If you guys have your comments about this whole Saban Brands thoughts on ToQger situation, just leave a comment down in the video and tell me what you think. Do you think Saban's being unfair? Do you think they're being perfectly reasonable in their assumptions about ToQger not being fitted for a Power Rangers adaptation in the US? Do you think they should probably change something up to make ToQger work here in America? Just let me know. And also, as for most of my videos, if not all of them, there will be links in the description for you to follow. So have fun with that. Well, that's it, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed my first vlog. I'll be back later in the next few days to upload more videos. Until then, have a good one, and I'll see you around. Take care.